Let's look at, so 4.2 is solving systems of equations by substitution. Substitution. Okay. The main thing here is we're solving by substitution. Otherwise, we're solving the exact same types of equations. So exact same problems and solutions as 4.1. Literally no new types of problems, no new material. The only difference is a new alternative method to graphing. Okay, so 4.1 was all about, we got two equations, let's graph these two equations and let's solve them. Okay, now we're going to do it, instead of a graph, we're going to do it algebraically.
Don't you take the equation and subtract down, something like that?
That's going to be 4.3.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, okay, sorry.
No worries. So algebraic methods, what I mean by that is, variables, adding, subtracting, so on and so forth. Okay, so we're using equations now. And the one big idea here, is if you have two equal things, I'm going to call them expressions. So if you have two equal expressions, they're interchangeable. In other words, if they're equal, you can swap them out. For one another. That's the big idea. If you have two things that are equal, I could just replace one thing with the other, and since they're equal, that's totally the same thing. Okay? I will solve an example for you. Let's write the general steps first, and then we'll just do a couple examples. Okay? So, I like big picture, general steps. So, the general steps here are short. I think it's 4 or 5 steps. Okay? And then always when I do general steps, I like to write an example right next to it. Okay? So an example problem, let's do number 6 from the homework. So this is x plus 2y equals 5, and the other one is 2x minus y equals negative 15. Okay. So step number 1 is you need to solve either equation for x or y. Okay, my hint is choose the easiest one. Right? Which one looks like the easiest to solve here in our problem? We could solve the first equation for x or for y. We could solve the second equation for x or for y. Which one looks like it's going to be the easiest to solve for? And which variable in first one? Yeah, because x has a positive 1 coefficient, so all we're going to do is move the 2y over, and we've got x by itself, okay? So, coefficient of 1. Those are usually the easiest ones to solve for. Okay, so let's do that over here. Okay, so doing step 1, we take x plus 2y equals 5, and we subtract the 2y, subtract the 2y, and we get x equals negative 2y plus 5. Great, okay. We solved for a variable. Okay, step 2 is substitute this equivalent expression into the other equation that variable used to be. Alright, so in other words, we solved, this was equation number 1, let's call it. We're going to substitute this in place of x into equation number 2. Okay, so let's write equation number 2. Here's, that was step 1. Here's step 2. Okay, writing equation number 2, we have 2x minus y equals negative 15. The whole idea of substitution is we know x is equal to negative 2y plus 5. Those are equal values, exactly the same. X is equal to this. So what we can do in the other equation, this is equation number 2, okay, is we can replace x by this equivalent value, because x is exactly equal to negative 2y plus 5. So, writing that, we get 2 times, in parentheses, we have negative 2y plus 5 minus y equals negative 15. Okay? That's the big step here. A different method with algebra rather than graphing. So you solve for any variable you want in any equation. We got x equals this from the first equation. So we're going to replace x in the second equation by that. And what that does is that takes 2 equations with 2 variables and turns it into one equation with 1 variable. Okay, so step 3 is just solve like any normal chapter 2 equation.
Y is equal to 5.
Yeah. Okay, so step 3 is solve like any normal chapter 2 problem. So this is all old material, okay, so solving for it, we have step 3. We have 2 times negative 2y plus 5 minus y equals negative 15. So we follow all the normal steps. Distribute. Negative 4y plus 10 minus y equals negative 15. Combine like terms. Negative 4 and negative 1 is negative 5y. Plus 10 is negative 15. Move all the numbers to one side. So negative 10, negative 10. And we get negative 5y equals negative 25. Divide by negative 5. And we get y is equal to 5. Okay? But we know what should the solution to a system of equations look like? It should be a point, right? So this is half of your answer. So if we need a point, how do we get the other half of the point?
Plug it into.
Plug it in and find its partner, right? So step 4 is,
Plug in 1.
yeah, plug this value into either starting equation and find its partner value. Alright, so here's step 4. You can plug it into either starting equation. In general, this that you used for substitution is going to be the easiest place to plug it in, because it already says x equals instructions in terms of y. So plugging in there is easiest. You can plug it into this one, you can plug it into this one, you can plug it in anywhere you want. Okay? So, step 4, let's just plug it into the very first equation. Okay, so x plus 2y equals 5. I'm going to plug in my 5. X plus 2, 5 equals 5, so x plus 10 equals 5, minus 10 minus 10, x equals -5. So 5, write your answer as a point. It's not really a step, but that's your actual answer. Okay. When we do these types of problems and we're asking for you to write the answer, we're asking for a point. That's the point where your two lines cross. That was your first method of solving. Your second method is by substituting in an equal value. So your answer, step 5, your answer is x is -5, y is 5. That's your answer. Okay? Step 6, plug this point into both and see if it works. Into both equations. And see if it works. I know not everybody will do this. However, on a test, this is a guaranteed easy, I'm right and I'm leaving, or I'm wrong and I'm leaving, done. Okay? That's not a question you should walk out saying, I hope I got that right. You should be 100% sure. It is not hard to plug -5, 5 into these two equations, right? I can do it in my head. -5 plus 2 times 5 is 10. -5 plus 10, yep, right. -5 times 2 is -10. Minus 5, -10 minus 5 is -15. I'm 100% sure I'm done. It took me maybe 15 seconds, and now I'm sure I got that problem right. If I plug it in and get 1 plus 2 is 7, oh wait, that's not right. I'm sure I got the problem wrong, and I need to fix it. Okay. So let's just do another example. That's it. Those are the general steps. There's no new material, there's no new loopholes, exceptions. If you substitute in a no solution or all solution, which we'll do in a second, you get exactly what you'd expect, right? If I plug in something, I substitute something in, whittle down, I get 3 equals 7. What am I going to write as the answer when I see 3 equals 7?
Solution.
Yeah, no solution. Doesn't matter what type of problem we're solving in this class. If all the variables cancel out and you get 3 equals 7, the answer is no solution, okay? If I'm plugging in and I'm substituting, following all the normal steps, and I get 5 equals 5, what am I going to say? So in this, yeah, somebody said it, yeah? Yeah, infinite number of solutions, because they're the same line, right? That's it. Same exception cases as 4-1, no new material, it's just we're solving them with algebra. If we get 3 equals 7, we know it's no solution. If we get 5 equals 5, we know there's infinitely many solutions. And otherwise, we get a point as our answer. Okay, so let's do a problem. Let's do a no solution, all solution one. Not to ruin the surprise. Oh wait, let's not, I got a better one. Okay. Okay, 18 is, this pen works. It doesn't work. Alright, so 18 is 4x plus 3y equals 0. 2x minus y equals 0. Okay. So what should we solve for here? Yeah, the 2x minus y first. Which one is easier to solve for? The y, right? So let's solve this one, okay? So how are we going to solve this one for y? What are we going to do? Okay, so we could just be clever and move the y to the other side. But let's just move the 2x, move the 2x. Okay, so we got negative y equals negative 2x, then
Divided by -1.
yeah, divide by -1, always those same steps. You guys are hopefully seeing how utterly, blindingly, super important chapter 2 was.
So you could add y at the beginning to both
Yeah.
sides?
And you get 2x equals y, which is the same thing. Yeah. Okay, so now what are we gonna do? We isolated one variable in either equation, great,
Plug it in,
to
other equation.
the other equation. So first I'll just write the other equation, 4x plus 3y equals 0. And so let's plug it in, what do you get?
4.
Yeah, 4,
X
yeah, 4x,
plus
Plus.
3
Yeah.
times 2x
yeah,
equals 0.
yeah, there you go. And then we just solve like normal, so you get 4x plus 6x equals 0, that's 10x equals 0, and then, yeah, you just divide by 10,
0/10,
yeah, it is.
0.
Yeah, people get worried about this, so x is 0, okay, next step.
Plug x into 1.
Yeah, plug x in anywhere. Now, you could plug it into one of these two original. I always like to go to whatever I substituted, this substitution thing that I used to replace y. I'm gonna plug it in there. So y equals,
0.
0.
yeah, y equals 2 times 0, so y equals 0, so my answer is,
Origin.
yeah, 0 comma 0, or the origin. Don't be scared and think because a 0 showed up, there's no solution. It's 0, 0, you can plug it back in. What's 4 times 0 plus 3 times 0?
0.
0. 2 times 0 minus 0 is? 0. Yeah, a bunch of zeros added with zeros minus zeros, you get 0. So that works. Now let's do one all solution, no solution. And that's where we'll end it for the day. And then you guys have about 10-15 minutes to work on some homework problems, whatever you feel like. Alright. Alright, so here's a problem. Like, let's do this one. So 16. 16 is 9x minus 3y equals 12. And the second equation is y equals 3x minus 4. Okay.
You've already given the answer to one of the variables.
I know, so I already solved for one. That was nice of them. They're kind. The book is forgiving. Okay.
So you
You
can
should
just
plug that into the
9x.
other equation.
Yeah, so plug this in to there. And so, yeah, what do we get?
9x
Yeah.
minus 3 times 3x minus 4 equals 12.
Equals 12. That's it. So we just replace, I mean, it already says y equals this, so we substitute it in place of its exact equal y, because they're equal. Right? And so what do we get when we do this?
9x minus 9x
12
plus 12 equals 12.
Plus 12. Nice. Because we remember to distribute that negative with 3. So minus 9x plus 12 equals 12. So 9x minus 9x
No
is
other
just 0. So we get 12 equals 12. Yeah, so we just say infinitely many solutions, or you could say they are the same line. And you can actually see that. If you rearrange this, you subtract the 9x over there. This is negative 3y equals negative 9x plus 12. Divide it all by negative 3. And you get y equals 3x minus 4, which is what? The other equation. Right, because they were the same. Just written a different way. That's it. What? Yeah. Exciting. Surprise.
Can you
Okay.
put that on the YouTube when I'm watching this?
It's gonna be on there, right? So,
Creative meme.
you guys, you have about 13 minutes to work on this, work on 4.1. 4.2 won't be due tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll really focus on 4.2 and 4.3.